Thank you, Excellency Secretary General, Dr. Kao Kim Hoon, media friends and colleagues, YB Liu Chin Tong, our Deputy Minister, as well as Deputy Secretary Savinda, and the rest of the meeting team, the Secretary General, Deputy Secretary General, and all of you who are here today. As Chair of ASEAN in 2025, Malaysia is proud to have hosted the 57 ASEAN Economic Ministers and related meeting this week. We started on Monday, and today we just concluded the series of meetings. And this annual ASEAN Economic Ministers Meetup is an important platform for ASEAN Economic Ministers to exchange views on the regional and the global economic outlook. It's also an opportunity to discuss the progress of our PEDs, our priority economic deliverables, and key initiatives under the ASEAN Economic Community, as well as our joint initiatives with our dialogue partners. It has been a busy week for all of us, starting from the prep of the SIOMs, the preparatory done by the senior economic officials meeting, to the 57 AEM meeting itself and the related meetings. I'm pleased to share the key outcomes of our series meeting this week. For your information, all the joint media statements also have been uploaded into ASEAN official website. This year, a few key themes dominated our discussions in both internal ASEAN meetings as well as in our consultations with ASEAN dialogue partners. These include, number one, the growing global trend of protectionism and the rise of unilateral trade measures, which pose significant risks to the multilateral rule-based trading system and the stability of global supply chains. So we underscored our shared commitment to uphold a free, fair, inclusive, rules-based and non-discriminatory multilateral trading system with WTO principles at its core. Secondly, ASEAN reaffirmed our resolve to constructively engage with all external partners to address their concerns, their legitimate concerns. ASEAN also stands ready to deepen economic cooperation that deliver mutual benefits for ASEAN and its partners. Related to this, we acknowledge the ASEAN Geo-Economic Task Force, AGTF. They made recommendations on new approaches and strategies to advance ASEAN integration amidst increasing geo-economic fragmentation. This is key to ensuring a coordinated ASEAN strategy for adapting to the evolving global geo-economic and geopolitical landscape. And thirdly, a joint session between ASEAN economic ministers and ASEAN foreign ministers will also be convened on the margins of the upcoming leaders to foster greater policy coherence and strengthen cross-pillar coordination. The ministers discussed and welcomed the good progress of the 18 PEDs under the Malaysian Chairmanship this year, particularly 9 PEDs, which is under the direct purview of the ASEAN economic ministers. This includes the full completion of the joint declaration on economic cooperation between ASEAN and the GCC, the endorsement of the ASEAN framework for integrated semiconductor supply chain, the adoption of the report and preparing initial framework for electric vehicle battery passport in ASEAN, the finalization of the ASEAN Sustainable Investment Guideline, and in terms of trade agreements, we further welcome the conclusion and upcoming signing of the second protocol of ATIGA, our ASEAN Trade in Goods Agreement, and the ASEAN-China FTA in October 2025. Notably, we have also made good progress of ASEAN Digital Economy Framework Agreement, the DEFA. The ministers reaffirmed their commitment to the timely implementation of these PEDs as it will bring tangible benefits to business and also to people, and therefore further strengthening ASEAN's economic resilience and long-term growth. And the upgraded version of ATIGA actually marks a significant leap forward, designed to be more agile and responsive to both regional and global economic shift. And of course, the ASEAN DEFA will drive economic growth and social advancement towards an ASEAN-wide digital economy. In addition to PEDs, during the meeting, we also signed the ASEAN Framework Agreement on Competition and look forward to the completion of the signing of the 5th protocol to amend the ASEAN Comprehensive Investment Agreement as soon as possible. Next, we look forward to the historical moment where Timor-Leste will be fully admitted as the 11th member state of ASEAN at the 47th ASEAN Summit in October. In this connection, we collectively affirm support for Timor-Leste's membership into ASEAN and welcomed continued capacity building programs to strengthen Timor-Leste readiness to meet its obligation under the ASEAN Economic Community. In furtherance to the ASEAN AEC Strategic Plan 2026 to 2030 that was adopted recently at the Leaders Summit, and we continue to chart concrete paths and action plans in implementing the plans that we have already agreed. With our external partners, we welcome the entry into force of the second protocol to amend the ASEAN Australia-New Zealand Free Trade Area for 9 parties, including Australia and New Zealand. And this milestone actually reflects our ability to modernize agreement, ensuring that we remain relevant to evolving business realities. We also noted the steady progress of the ASEAN-Canada Free Trade Agreement in negotiation and expected to conclude substantial conclusion by end of 2026. On the review of the ASEAN-India Trade in Goods Agreement, ITIGA, which is also listed as one of Malaysia's PED, ASEAN remains committed to concluding the review by 2025, despite several challenges and criticisms, recognizing its vital role in strengthening supply chain and unlocking new opportunities. So ASEAN has put forward a balanced package in good faith, underscoring its determination to work with India towards a modern, business-friendly and future-ready agreement. So moving forward, ASEAN maintains an optimistic outlook that through constructive engagement and mutual trust, the upgraded ASEAN-India Trade in Goods Agreement will serve as a catalyst for deeper integration. Meanwhile, the Republic of Korea will look forward to the launch of the AKFTA upgrade negotiation soon. And given the ongoing global and regional economic uncertainties, ASEAN remains proactive in diversifying and expanding our economic links and network. We have the ASEAN GCC Economic Cooperation, for example. And we also like to put on record our appreciation to the ASEAN Business Advisory Council for the progress they made. And with WPO, WIPO, we also welcome the progress of the MOU on cooperation in specific areas. Last but not least, we express our appreciation to Economic Research Institute for ASEAN and East Asia area and OECD, UNESCAP, UNCTAD for their unwavering support to ASEAN in delivering various initiatives and capacity building progress across the ASEAN